Hey, Mike with No Problems Gaming here. In today's video, we'll be doing a review on the game Scarlet Tower, so let's get into it. Now, Scarlet Tower is a bullet hell survival game, and you'll play as different warriors as they try and rid the land of corruption. Now, the game itself is very similar to Vampire Survivors, but in many ways, a lot more robust. And so you'll start off with many different playable characters to choose from, and each one of them will have their own ability skill trees, base starting weapons, and overall play style. And this is really cool that you can choose between these characters, and in many senses, switches up the gameplay. And so, like I mentioned, these individual abilities can be leveled up, and it also gives you the option to kind of mix and match different skill sets for your characters to have different build types and overall feel. Now, in addition to your individual character's abilities, there's also a base set of stats that are shared between characters, and you can increase these and level these up as well. So this can be things like your move speed, damage percentage, health regeneration, and much more. There's also the option to have familiars that come along with you throughout each run. And each one of these has their own ability set that can level up and learn and choose between. And then each one of these familiars will function differently throughout your run as well. So not only do you have your character's abilities that you can level up and expand, there's also equipment that you can find throughout each run. And so there's different armor sets that you can collect. There's various pieces like helmets, armor pieces, gauntlets, and more. And along with that, each armor has a rarity level. So you might have common items, rare, uncommon, and much more. And with these, there's even a blacksmith that you can go to further enhance these weapons. You can dismantle them for crafting parts and crafting material to further enhance your armor. And this is another robust system the game offers as well. And you'll need to use gold to enhance these items along with these crafting materials. And speaking of gold, there's not just one currency type in this game. There's 3 different types. And depending on what abilities you might be wanting to enhance, how you want to enhance the armor, different skill trees you want to unlock, and more, will require you to use these different currency types. And so, for example, characters will also share a talent tree. There's one set of skills that relate to defensive traits and another set of skills that relate to offensive traits. And so you'll need to unlock these different tiers of these traits. But then each one of these levels has 3 different options to choose from, and these can even level up as well. And so there's a lot of different ways you can build out your characters and mix and match these different abilities. There's also rune stones that you can use to unlock even more power-ups and abilities. And so there's a variety of these as well, doing things like increasing your critical damage, the overall damage percentage, the move speed of your characters, and more. And so throughout the game, there's dozens of different unlockables. These can be things like new weapons, new rune stones, finding different equipment in each run, unlockable characters, different challenges, and more. And so in the gameplay itself, you'll start off by picking different locations where you want to challenge the area and defeat this corruption. And so you have your base level of corruption, which is kind of an easier version of the stage. But over time, after you clear each corruption level, you can increase it, making the run more difficult, introducing new challenges, and giving you a higher percentage of acquiring better loot. There's even a nightmare mode where you can turn up the difficulty even further. But the added bonus to this is that it's a higher percentage of finding better equipment throughout the run. And so I think this is really fun because it gives you an enhanced difficulty. Now, one of the downsides I would say of Vampire Survivors, for example, is that once you really get the hang of it and level up your character's stats, it's almost like you max out every single run and it's kind of a guaranteed win at that point. Where I find in Scarlet Tower, having these different difficulty tiers, the nightmare mode, the various equipment that you can equip and level up really add to the difficulty and add more of a challenge to the game once you're in later stages. Another cool element of this is that it can actually alter the stage. So depending on the difficulty you have, this could lead to new monster types appearing and other challenges being different as you go through these runs. Now, the playstyle does feel similar to Vampire Survivors, where it does kind of have an auto shoot feature. And so, depending on the weapons that you acquire, some of them might be shields, some of them might be swords, some of them are projectile weapons like staves, and much more. And so, it does kind of have that auto shoot feature, which will usually target the nearest enemy towards you. But this also has the option to turn that off. So it kind of can turn into more of a twin stick shooter, or you can even have a hybrid of both where it has that auto shooting on, but you still have the flexibility of using the other joystick to target where you want to shoot. And I thought this was cool because it could help you get out of tight spaces or escape from a massive horde, or maybe you're trying to take down a more challenging boss, and so you can run around the screen while targeting them at the same time instead of only relying on the auto shoot. There's also a dash feature, which is another ability that was new to this genre. And so if you again want to move further around the screen quickly, that's another option. And often your characters will have special abilities associated with this action as well. For example, if you're playing as the vampire character, you'll actually turn into a bat, and there's a whole skill tree associated with that action as well. Levels also contain a lot of different secrets. So there's hidden items scattered throughout the level. There's secret characters that you might find depending on the build that you're going for. So you can actually rescue NPCs hidden throughout the level, and many of them will join your team as well, adding to your arsenal. There's item towers that will spawn extra gold or gems to power up your character. And there's even shops scattered throughout the levels where you can buy power ups for your character, but these are actually based on kills of enemies. So that's just another cool thing. It adds almost another currency to the game throughout your run where you can buy these unique power ups, sometimes even weapons, based on the number of kills that you've done throughout the stage. It also has that feature where some of the weapon types can combine into more powerful fusions. And so this is cool, trying to figure out the different combinations and how you want to combine them. And some weapon types even have multiple fusions depending on the secondary weapon you try and pair them with. The game even has a day-night cycle, and this can alter things that happen throughout the run, but even impact your character. Another example of this is the vampire character will get stronger at the night cycle and enhance their powers, and be potentially a little bit weaker during the daytime. And so I thought that was another cool element as well. Other stages have different unique mechanics. For example, there's an underwater level, and some characters can breathe underwater, but then others will need to find little air bubbles to keep their air supply up. Otherwise, it will quickly drain their health if they run out of air. Now, one downside I found is that throughout my early playthroughs, there was some different glitches. Sometimes it would get quite laggy when tons of enemies were on screen. But I think the good news is that the developers are very on top of this. I actually joined their Discord, was able to put the different bugs I was encountering, and they hopped on and chatted with me right away to figure out a solution for that. Now, as I play a week later after my initial few runs, I don't seem to encounter those issues as much as I did before, if even not at all. And so I think that's good news for the game, that they're constantly trying to update it and make things better and make it a smooth experience. But be aware, if you get it early on, it might have some of those challenges as they continue to update the game. But outside of that, I've had a blast with this game. I've put in over 40 hours in just the past couple of weeks. It's incredibly hard to put down, especially with the addictive elements of finding new equipment, the difficulty levels, all the different unique characters, everything that you can level up and power up and build out your skill trees and more. I've really had a blast with this game. And I think if you like survivor games, roguelike action RPGs, have enjoyed Vampire Survivors, but are looking for a new take that's maybe a little bit more robust, I would definitely recommend checking out this game. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you played this game yet? Now that you've seen it, are you going to pick it up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. And another really cool way you can help support the channel is we partnered with a game store, Nutmeg Games. So if you like Pokemon cards, board games, Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and more, you can actually head to nutmeggames.com /Nerd Problems Gaming and use our promo code Nerd Problems Gaming at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order and help support our channel at the same time. So if you want to take advantage of that great discount, be sure to head there as well. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.